what's going on, everyone out there in YouTube land? So today we got a review on an RDA, this one coming from Blitz Enterprises. This is the HATTY. At the moment, I got it sitting on top the Athena Hero 18650 box mod. I got it at around 100 watts. 100 watts. Yeah, 100 watts. That's a lot for me. Let's have a vape. Putting out some really good flavor and tons of vapor. The HATTY was sent over directly by Blitz Enterprises for the purpose of this review, but if you guys are interested in checking one out later on after the review, I will have a few links posted in a description to a few different vendors, and it seems the going price at the moment for the HATTY is $29.99. Let's go through some of the specs real quick. Now, the HATTY does come in stainless steel and black. I have the stainless steel one at the moment. I'll show you guys the black one later on in the video. It is a 22 millimeter in diameter RDA. It does measure 47 millimeters tall. We do have bottom airflow and side airflow on this one. The side airflow does offer airflow control. We do have a locking barrel design on this one, so the barrel section right here does kind of lock into place, which I'll show you guys more about later on in the video. We have a 2-post velocity style deck on this one, so we have 2 post, 4 post holes. Each post hole does measure 2.5 millimeter in diameter. It does come with a 10 millimeter wide bore Delrin drip tip, and they also include a Delrin 510 drip tip adapter. And last but not least, we do have a non-adjustable gold-plated 510 pin, but you can safely use it on a hybrid top cap. So there are the specs, and with all that said, why don't we dive down? Let's get up close and personal with the HATTY. Let's have an up-close look at the HATTY by Blitz Enterprises. Now, in the box, you will receive one HATTY RDA. The wide-bore Delrin drip tip will be installed. You'll also receive a Delrin 510 drip tip adapter and a bag of spares, which will include some post screws and some O-rings. The HATTY does come in 2 different colors. They offer a stainless steel version and a black version. Here's a quick look at the black one. The inside of the barrel and the deck is not painted black. It's going to be all stainless steel. The only thing that's going to be black is the exterior and the bottom. Starting at the top, they do include a 10 millimeter wide bore Delrin drip tip. As you can see, the shape on here, a little bit different. Nice, comfortable drip tip, very cool on the lips. And these drip tips are threaded, so in order to remove it, you're going to have to unscrew it, like so. You'll notice we have some chunky threading down in there inside the top cap. If you prefer to use your own standard 510 drip tip, you could screw in the provided drip tip adapter, which is also made of Delrin, and that will accommodate all your standard size drip tips. Working our way down, the HATTY does offer 2 airflow options. We have side airflow and bottom airflow. Now, the side airflow, you can shut it completely off. You can open it wide open. You can adjust it. But the bottom airflow is always going to be completely wide open. There is no way to adjust it or shut it off. And to adjust the side airflow, all you're going to do is simply turn the top cap and just open it up as much as possible. You'll notice that we have this little H design going on for the side airflow, and then the bottom airflow we have the same H design going on. You can run the side airflow in either dual coil or single coil, but once again, that bottom airflow is always going to be open on both sides. Removing the top cap, give you a better look at the airflow control ring. There's going to be your dual coil airflow setup, and then if you want single coil, just select this option right here. We have this really big beefy O-ring, and you got to make sure that you add e-liquid to this O-ring, because if you don't, it's going to be impossible to adjust the airflow. So I had to add some e-liquid to that O-ring just to show you guys how to adjust it. It's a really tough O-ring, which is a good thing. So the airflow is not going to adjust on its own. It's got a really tight turn to it, even with e-liquid on it, which I really do like. Quality of the stainless steel on the top cap and the barrel section, really nice job. Nice, chunky, thick stainless steel. Feels like really good quality. I don't notice any sharp edges. The only sharp edges I noticed are on the corners of the airflow control ring right here. There's really no way around that. But other than that, everything on this thing is buttery smooth. Having a look at the barrel section, once again, really nice stainless steel. The edges are nice and soft. They're not sharp. We got the H airflow going on. And then if you look at the bottom of the barrel, you're going to notice two notches. One right there on the edge and one right there on that edge. And what those notches are for, they line up with the notches in the deck. One there and one there. Because once again, we have that locking barrel design. And the way this works is you pop it on, you'll see we have a little bit of a gap, and you kind of turn it, and then those notches line up and lock in place, and then that lines up all your airflow perfectly in the center. So that way when you put your top cap on, you don't need to look at it and line up your air holes. You just put it on and just spin it until it locks into place. Now if you'll notice, I only have one O-ring installed on the deck. It does come with two O-rings. I personally found two O-rings to be a little too tight. I much prefer using one O-ring. And using one O-ring, it's still nice and firm. It's not going to pop off on you. And it just makes it so much easier to turn the barrel when you go to lock it. Regardless though, if I run one O-ring or two O-rings, I do not experience any leaking whatsoever. Having a look at the build deck, you can see we have a Velocity style build deck. 2-post design, 4 post holes. The post holes on this one measure 2.5 millimeter in diameter. So you can fit some pretty large gauge builds in here. We have your post screws on the side. What makes this one a little bit different is that they are using Phillips head screws, which is kind of nice. Fairly deep juice well on this one. You've got your bottom airflow slots. Once again, when you build on here, just make sure you have your coil directly over the air hole, because there is no way to shut these bottom airflow holes off. And if you guys are wondering about the O-ring, once again, there you have it. Here's the black one with the 2 O-rings in place. And here's the stainless steel one I've been using with a single O-ring. And then at the bottom, we have some laser etching going on. Blitz Enterprises, HATTY. And we do have a non-adjustable gold-plated 510 pin in the center. And even though it's not adjustable, it does protrude far enough to use on a hybrid connection. Alright guys, so that's pretty much going to be it for the HATTY. Let me throw a build in here really quick and I'll show you guys what it looks like with a build installed. Alright, so here's a quick build that I did. This is probably one of my worst builds I've ever done. I was using these pre-made coils sent over by Wotofo. Usually when I do a build on a Velocity style deck, I like to have the coil extend from one post to the other. So I'll normally do anywhere from 8 to 12 wraps. This particular one is, 5 wraps. So yeah, I didn't like this coil in particular. Just make sure that when you wick it up, you don't want the cotton to touch that bottom air hole. Because if you do, it will start to leak from the bottom air hole. So just make sure you look underneath the coil and that cotton is completely clearing that air hole. As you can see on this side right here, I have some cotton which is touching that bottom air hole. So you want to make sure you get that out of the way completely, because if you don't, all it's going to do is just pump e-liquid down that air hole and you're going to have a big mess on your hands. Alright, so I got it all juiced up, and once again, what's really nice about this locking barrel section is I can just pop the top cap on, not even look at it, and just turn it until it locks into place, and there you have it. So, with all that said, let's jump back up and let's have a vape. Alright guys, there you have it, up close and personal with the HATTY. I got it sitting on top of the Hero box, still at 100 watts. I've got the side airflow closed off. I'm just running the bottom airflow so I get much better flavor. Let's have a vape. Putting out some really, really good flavor. So let's talk a little bit about the HATTY. The HATTY comes from Blitz Enterprises. If you guys don't know Blitz, they made the Hanya Postless RTA. They also make the Hanya Postless RTA, which I'll be reviewing probably sometime next week. And Blitz Enterprises has been putting out some pretty amazing atomizers lately. Their Hanya, I really love that RDA. Awesome low cost, postless RDA. The RTA version, once again, another good RTA. And this HATTY just pretty much came out of nowhere. And I've been really enjoying this thing. I've had this one for quite a while now, probably over 2 weeks. And I've been using this one a lot. And what I really like about it the most is two things. It gives me the option to run, all airflow wide open, so I can get side airflow and bottom airflow, so I can get pretty much maximum amount of vapor. Or I could shut off the airflow like I have it now on the side, and I can get actually much better flavor by just running the bottom airflow. And you actually do notice a difference. Unlike a few other atomizers out there that offer different airflow options and you don't really notice that much of a difference, with the HATTY, you actually notice a difference in flavor. If you close off that side airflow, you do get increased flavor. Another cool thing I like about the HATTY is this locking barrel design. Now, a few other RDAs have this option, but they don't really work as good. I don't know why, they just don't. Now, when I first got it, when it had the two O-rings in place, it was a real pain to kind of turn the top cap. But I removed one of those O-rings, and now this thing is like perfect. Because I always remove my top cap when I drip. I normally don't drip through the drip tip, and I hate having to look at it and line up the air holes. But with this locking barrel design, I can just pop the top cap on, not even look at it, and just turn it. And then once it locks into place, I know that all my air holes are perfectly lined up. So let's go through some of the pros and cons here on the HATTY. We'll start off with the pros. Pro number one, I love the side and bottom airflow design. Once again, I can open it wide open for maximum amount of vapor. I can close it off to increase the flavor. Some people may not like the fact that you can't close off the bottom, but personally for me, I'm a huge fan of bottom airflow. So I do like the fact that it's always open. I just really like the fact that they give you a ton of options when it comes to airflow on this one. And each of the different airflow options actually, it produces a different flavor and a different taste. So it's not a gimmick. It actually does work. And I much prefer running this thing with the airflow closed off on the sides. But depending on your vape, depending on your build, depends on how you want to run it. But honestly, I've been really enjoying all the airflow options I get off this HATTY, so I gotta give him a thumbs up for the airflow design. The next pro on this one, the quality and craftsmanship on this RDA is awesome. For 30 bucks, I've seen some pretty nasty RDAs come across my desk, but the HATTY, stainless steel, nice and silky smooth, chunky stainless steel, doesn't feel cheap in your hands, no sharp edges. The AFC ring does have, the sharp corners to it, but that's kind of expected with the way it's designed. But, I mean, overall, this thing is just, it's beautifully put together. It's well machined. I've had no issues. Everything just clicks together perfectly. Some areas are a little tight, but a little e-juice will perfectly fix that. Overall, though, I'm very impressed and very happy with the quality of this RDA. The next pro on this one is going to be the drip tip options. This 10mm bore drip tip right here, very comfortable. The Delrin, nice and cool. The shape of it, just really good on the lips. I actually really enjoy using this drip tip. And I like the fact they include a drip tip adapter, so that way we can use our own drip tips on this one. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up for both the drip tip options on here. I'm a huge fan of both of them. The next pro for me, and it's going to be a big pro, is the locking mechanism they have on the barrel section. I love this design right here. A few other RDAs have this option, but it doesn't work as good as it does on the HATTY. I'm not too sure why it is. Now, like I said, when I first got it, the dual O-rings were kind of a little too tight, and it made a little bit of a challenge to kind of turn that that top cap. But after I've removed one O-ring, it's a joy to use. It's so much easier to drip on now. I don't have to sit there and line up my air hole with the coils. I can just pop my top cap on, turn it, it locks. I can go ahead and vape. So I do like this whole locking mechanism design. The next pro on this one has to be the Velocity style build deck. Once again, 2-post, 4-post holes. Very, very easy to build on, especially if you're a newer builder. It's just a joy to use, a joy to build on. Even if you're an experienced vapor, you can get away with doing some crazy builds. You could do vertical builds, dual coil, quad coil, real easy to build on this one. And the Phillips head post screws make it a little bit easier because you don't have to break out the Allen key. So I really do like the Velocity style deck on here. Also, the post holes are nice and large, so you can fit pretty much anything inside this deck. And the last pro on this one, it's not really a pro for me because I really don't use hybrid top caps, but I know a lot of people out there love their hybrid mech mods, and it's nice to know that you can safely use the HATTY on a hybrid top cap. So there are the pros. Let's jump through some of the cons real quick. I don't have many cons on this one because honestly I have nothing to complain about, but I tried to pull up as much as I can on this one. Con number one, since it is bottom airflow, it's going to be leaky. If you are an over dripper like me, this thing is going to leak on you. So be very careful when you're dripping. Either paint your e-liquid on the coils or drip directly down the center. If you over drip just the slightest bit, it will come pouring out the air holes down here. So once again, bottom airflow, going to be leaky. I got to give it a con for that. Even though it's not really a con with the RDA, it's more of the airflow design. Just something I kind of want to note and put in there. The next con, it's not really that big of a con. I mean, it kind of is, kind of isn't, but I enjoy the Phillips head screws that they're using in here. It's just much more easier to fasten down your screw with, but be careful with those screws because they are small, they are Phillips head, they will strip very easily. And the last con on this one, not personally a con for me because I like tight O-rings, and I was able to remove one of the O-rings at the bottom, but I'm going to give it a con for the O-rings being a little bit too tight at times. As long as you lube up the O-rings with e-juice, you'll be perfectly fine. If you have any issues with twisting the top cap and locking it, just remove one of those O-rings and it'll be perfect. But still, I want to give it a little bit of a con for that. I think the O-rings were just a little bit too snug coming out of the factory. So there are the pros and the cons. Let's have one last vape. Beautiful vape off this thing. I have been really enjoying this RDA. Let me tell you, for the price, for the quality, for the features you get on here, it has been nothing but enjoyable vaping on this thing. At the end of the day, would I recommend the HATTY? You are damn skippy, I would recommend it. If you like bottom airflow, if you like side airflow, if you like the whole velocity style deck thing, this is definitely an RDA you're going to want to have in your arsenal of RDAs. Really good choice here. Blitz is doing really good stuff with their atomizers. The HATTY RTA and the HATTY is just, I don't know, it's the shit. It's good stuff here. So yes, I would highly, highly recommend it. All right, guys, so that's it. That's all I got for you today. If you have any questions or comments on the HATTY, please feel free to leave them below. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to everyone very, very soon. Make sure you guys build safe and vape on.